All right, folks, welcome to quarantine workout number 43. Let's get right into this with the general warm-up. As you should know by now, the details of which you can find in quarantine workout number 12. So once you finish that general warm-up, and as you know, because you're on top of this, the last 60 seconds is always jumping jacks. So every time you're finishing with 60 seconds of jumping jacks. But now, instead of going into 10 and 10, we're gonna go right into the first circuit. Circuit number 1 is gonna go through 5 rounds. Now, we're not gonna do our walkouts and corrective squats. We're gonna work some different moves in today that kind of check similar boxes. Not exactly the same, let's just switch it up for today. So first thing you got is bear crawl. Bear crawl, we're gonna go 6 steps forward, 6 steps backwards, twice through. So you're down in this position, walk forward, 6 steps, then backward, 6 steps, and the steps should be small. Now watch what this looks like from the ground right here. My hands are never going behind my shoulders. I'm reaching out in front of me. And the hips are high, that's what makes it a bear crawl. The feet are also not stepping up to the hip, they're staying back behind me, right? So I'm never getting close together with my hands and feet here. Short steps, 6 forward, 6 backwards. Then you're gonna go into a plank. I don't care how you get there, it doesn't have to be like that. And you're going 6 steps right, 6 steps left. So you watch the coordination on this one. The hands walk together and the feet step apart. Conversely, 6 steps, 6 steps. So again, the feet and the hands are not synced up there. Hands step in, feet step out, and vice versa. 6 right, 6 left. After that, got 6 jump lunges. Now these jump lunges don't need to be for maximum height. This is your warm-up circuit. What I do want to make sure you're hitting though is that minimum depth. So the depth you're looking for in a lunge is 90 degrees at the front and back knee, and this knee should be at the same level as the ankle, right? That means your shin should be parallel to the ground. So that knee bends 90 degrees and drops to the height of that back ankle, okay? 6. Just smooth, bouncy, doesn't have to have a lot of power yet, okay? Once you finish that jump lunge, you have 6 alternating lateral saw lunges. So a saw lunge, that's where you step into a forward lunge and then right into a backward lunge. We're doing that lateral lunge, that's that middle lunge, straight out to the side that you do in the pentagram lunges. So for this, you just step right, then left, or vice versa, step out, hit the pocket, quick to the middle. So that leg that's in the middle, that's always the pivot leg. So it's the pivot leg is the right leg when I'm going to the left, and the left leg when I'm going to the right. You do 6 of those. After that, you have an X carry. So the X carry, one hand is up in the overhead, the other one is in a farmer carry or a suitcase carry position. We're gonna go 40 steps out, switch, 40 steps back. Or of course, if you're walking forwards and backwards, you can do it that way. So I'm gonna get that mid ball up here, lift the weight, bring it up overhead, nice and stable, and I'm gonna walk forwards, backwards, depending on my space. I could go out into the street and just walk 40 steps down, drop the weights, switch them, and then do the other side. So 40 steps one way, 40 steps the other way. Okay, welcome back. So circuit number 2, we're also going through 5 times. First exercise is squat high pull, going 20 reps. So I'll give you some from the front and some from the side so you can point out a couple of different things. One thing you'll probably notice with my high pull, my right elbow is lower than my left elbow. My right shoulder is kind of messed up. So my body protects my right shoulder a little bit, but I'm definitely not trying to do that. I really want to be in a position where my elbows are coming up and being more or less symmetrical, right? But the more important thing is the cascade of movements coming up from the ground. I address the weight with good posture, balance on my feet, and a high pull, I'm gonna be just a little bit more towards the toes, just a little light on the heels. I'm gonna drive up. It's gonna be legs and hips, and then once the hips finish, they pass the rep off to the arms. So I don't wanna lift too soon with my arms. I always wanna cascade up from the floor. Your power comes from the ground. So legs, hips, then the arms, push up through the toes. As you finish the rep, you should be dropping back down to the heels. That way you're hitting that triple extension. and then getting back down, establishing your stance on the ground. So from the front, and you may have noticed I was able to make uncomfortable eye contact the whole time. You should have that forward gaze while you're lifting, not looking down, not looking up, looking forwards. From the side, what I want you to notice is the hip and the foot extension. So you're not leaving these hips back, but I'm not overextending either. What you really want is to get a nice straight body position with a strong back. And at the top of that rep, the kettlebell should be light. It's kind of hanging in front of you. Shouldn't be pulling down on you the whole time. That's what makes this ballistic. You want to drive, snap the hips, pull to finish, and then the weight should just kind of want to keep going up. You should be free of the weight for a second, and then as the weight drops back down, you re-engage with the weight. Arms slowly, then hips and legs, right? So you're reversing that movement from the way up on the way back down. After you finish that, grab your med ball, take it outside. You got 4 squat high throws. So we'll kind of pantomime this because I'm indoors and I'm not going outside right now. So you're gonna always start from the floor. I want to address the weight with purpose. I want to get ready to throw it. Again, I'm gonna keep that same form. There's a reason we're doing this right after the high pull. Keep that same form. Weight a little bit more on the balls of the feet. Chest nice and tall. Hips and knees bent. And then I want to drive hard here. Switch it. And then jump and throw it up as high as I can. And I want to really jump and throw as fast, as hard. Leave the ground as high as I can. You want maximum hang time. You know you're doing better at this if the time between when your feet leave the ground and when the med ball hits the ground on the landing, if you make that time as long as you can, you know you're getting more power out of it, okay? Once you finish that, we got a twisted row. That's a stretch cord exercise. So you grab this one, walk out. You probably remember this. And I'm gonna be in that lunge position again. So if I'm bending over to the right, if I'm leaning to the right, twisting to the right here, I'm gonna be twisting over the front leg, right? So my right leg is forward and I'm pulling right here, focusing on balancing, keeping the shoulders down, finishing that rep. It's 15 on one side, switch the stance, twist over the left now. Keep that posture up and finish that rep. So 15 and 15 on that one. After that, go to the bar. If you got a bar, you go 20-second hang. Don't fully release your shoulders. Find that stable position. The same way you support a weight that you walk with overhead, you want to support your own weight when you're hanging. So you don't want to let go all the way. You want to keep yourself a little bit engaged, just enough contraction to keep that shoulder neutral, right here. So again, I'm not trying to just relax fully. I want to keep it engaged here, right? Because, think about swimming, right? You don't want to be stretched out so far that you can't grab the water, right? So you always want to have a point of stable connection, even as you're reaching. So I'm reaching overhead, but I'm also keeping my shoulders stable, balanced. That's going to give me better power. It's also going to help prevent me from getting some weird, hypermobility injuries that are often common in overhead athletes. So I'm sure that was at least 20 seconds. If you don't have a bar, maybe you set up this this DIY suspension system, right? This is just that bed sheet that I chopped up a while ago. And you may want to just grab onto that, lean your back against the door, and then just lift your feet up. So I'm getting my hang right here too. That's another way to do it. That is just fine. If you're a grip, because that's a tougher grip, if your grip's struggling, you can wrap that around your hands to assist the grip a little bit. Just make sure that you're staying strong through your shoulders. After you finish that hang, you got a single wall walk up handstand. And while you're up there, you're just gonna hold that handstand for 3 to 10 nasal breaths. So breathing in and out through your nose if you can, in through the nose, out through the mouth if you must. You know, if your allergies are really bothering you, you can't breathe through your nose, well, I guess you're gonna have to breathe out of your mouth, but nasal, definitely preferred. So you're gonna walk up, you wanna get yourself close to the wall with your hands. So I'm walking up, and then I'm set. Now I'm gonna breathe. There's 3, keeping the hips away from the wall. Then I'm just gonna walk back down, and you only gotta do 1 of those. So there's your circuit, go through that 5 times, and enjoy yourselves.